I really like these two clips of Andrew Tate when he talks about his diet and his mindset when it comes to choice.
I like to stay fast. Even my boxing style is all speed. So I don't eat more to get bigger. One meal a day is good. I like being hungry most of the day. It keeps my brain firing. When you're hungry, you're on. When you're full, you're not. I feel better when I'm hungry. You can't be lazy when you're hungry.
Everything in the world is a choice. And people will argue with me when I say that. They say, no, I didn't choose to feel this way. And I'll argue back that believing everything is a choice empowers you to make the change. Trying to say that everything is not a choice removes your power and your authority and your responsibility and your capabilities. When people sit and say, oh, no, I didn't choose this, well, then they can't choose to fix it. Whereas if you accept that every single thing about you is a choice, then you get to choose to change it or not. So I think the most powerful thing you can do if you're a depressed or sad person is accept that you have chosen to be one.
Going over the first clip where he talks about OMAD. OMAD is the go. Genuinely the go. If you're trying to lose weight, and Andrew Tate isn't trying to lose weight, he's just trying to get the benefits through productivity, through mental clarity, through just having the speed that he needs in his daily life. In the past, I did OMAD, and I continually do OMAD for weight loss benefits. I wanted to lose weight, and I wanted to do it fast. And one of the ways I came across was intermittent fasting. Oh, this is interesting. So, in the past I had the thoughts of like, oh, calorie restriction, that's what's the most important. That's how you lose weight. That's just basic physics. So I was like, okay, well, if I want to restrict my calories, that means eating less. So if I do intermittent fasting, I'm eating less. So I'm getting closer to my goal. Now, back then I was naive. I didn't know, and you probably think this way right now. I didn't understand what goes on under the hood, so to speak, when it comes to hormones. It's almost like you have a car. You're like, oh yeah, the engine, it's a combustion engine, so, little explosions and the car propels forward. And then it's like the engineer who's like, well, the physics behind it is like this and that, and when the oil and gasoline hit and then the spark, they have a much deeper understanding of the intricacies of the specifications of the engine, to where they know how to fine tune it. They know exactly what's going on. Whereas a normal person is like, well, little explosions and the car moves forward. One of the big benefits when it comes to OMAD for weight loss is the hormonal reset you get. There's a bunch of benefits. You start getting benefits of autophagy. You get the release of ketones. You burn through your glucose that's built up in your liver. There's a whole host of, and obviously you start tapping into the energy that's already stored in your body. Fat. The thing, funnily enough, you carry millions of calories of energy on your body as we speak. Maybe even more, depending on how fucking fat you are. OMAD is important. You need to be doing OMAD. Talk to your doctor and, health, and I'm not a doctor, whatever. How do you do OMAD? There's a difference between knowing OMAD is good for you and helps you lose weight and the hormonal benefits or whatever. And a lot of people really don't care about that, to be honest with you. They just want to get the result. So how do you do OMAD? How do you do it effectively? Some of you have probably tried intermittent fasting and given up. You're like, okay, I'm not going to eat breakfast. I'm going to wait till lunch. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But the moment a craving hits, you cave. Straight to the pantry. How do you avoid that? How do you set yourself up for success? I have a plan for you that you have to follow. If you follow this, genuinely, you're going to be so much better off. I don't hear anyone talking about what I'm about to tell you right now. I'm genuinely the only one that says how to do it effectively. Now, we're going to have to pregame a little bit and not, pound some alcohol. Couple days in advance, what you want to do is go on a low-carb diet. Why are we doing this? This makes no sense. Why do we have to pregame to not eat? So, The thought behind it is if you lower your carbohydrate intake, your body will begin to get used to replacing that with ketones, which is a better source of energy for your brain and for your body. But first, you have to burn through a lot of the stores you have on your body for glucose, for the carbs that you have in your body, for the sugars, everything. Once you burn through that, your body's primed to do intermittent fasting. Once you've done that, what you want to do is wake up, brush your teeth, shower, and then drink black coffee. I recommend black coffee, but sometimes I drink energy drinks as well. 0 calorie, 0 sugar. Well, 10 calories, but 0 sugar. What does that do? Imagine this. You wake up, you need a little bit of a kickstart to your day. You need something to get you hyped up. Coffee. What you didn't know is coffee is a good stimulant, but it's also a good appetite suppressant. It's also a diuretic, which means you pee. When you pee, you're getting rid of a lot of the electrolytes, so make sure you get your electrolytes. But you're also kind of debloating. You're kind of getting rid of all this glucose that your body's expelling. That stimulant is pretty much tricking your mind and your body into thinking, yo, we're good, like we don't have to eat. So you're overriding that step in your brain where it's like, okay, release hunger hormones. It's like taking a shortcut. When I put on Google Maps, I don't want the longest route. I don't want the most treacherous, difficult route. I want the route that cuts through all the bullshit and gets me where I need to be faster. Caffeine is the method for that. Caffeine overrides all this extra bullshit, all this willpower, all this like fighting the craving and having your body release all these hormones, this ghrelin to make you hungry. Skip all that. We're speed running through that shit. Matter of fact, we're not even speed running through it. We're like glitching past it. That genuinely will keep you from eating for half the day. I have 1, 2, maybe even 3 coffees, and I have the Turkish coffees too. And I genuinely don't have to eat till 6 in the afternoon. I have to remind myself to eat. Another important thing that Andrew Tate talks about is more of the mindset. If you believe you don't have a choice in your current predicament, you're fucked. You're done. If you don't believe eating all this unhealthy food, eating in excess, isn't a choice, well then how can you make the choice to not do those things? I think Carl Jung had this quote where if you don't begin to analyze the subconscious, you will mindlessly follow it and call it fate. When something is fate, it's not something that we feel like we have control over. When you meet someone and you're like, wow, this person's awesome, like we really click, everything's going good, it must have been fate that we met. You had no control over that meeting. That's like the underlying aspect of it. Like we don't have control over us meeting each other. So instead of thinking, oh, I didn't have a choice in how I became, switch your mindset into something more empowering where it's, I have a choice. I made this choice in the past. Now I acknowledge that this choice isn't the best choice for me. Therefore, I'm going to just pivot. Think strategically, like you're a general. You got to be very objective of what's going on in the battlefield. If something ain't working, the worst thing you could do is keep doing it. You're just sending your soldiers into certain death. I remember dude, when you're fat and you think you're a victim and you believe you don't have a choice in any of it, you come up with some weird ass excuses. I genuinely thought I had worms at one point. Oh, the reason I can't lose weight is because I have worms in my stomach. They're taking the energy from my body and it's forcing me to eat more to compensate for the worms in my stomach. I swear, I was this close to going to the pharmacy and buying a dewormer. Like a little pill that I take that somehow magically gets rid of the worms in my body. I was this close. That's how delusional I was. You're probably that delusional too right now. You probably think, oh, genetic this, genetic that. Oh, I don't have control over anything. Like, it's just like, it's because of genetics, or I have worms, or, well, I need, like, how can I enjoy life if I don't eat this shitty ass food? Listen to yourself. Like, genuinely listen. Like, don't you think you sound crazy? I think you sound crazy. You probably are crazy. I was crazy. Maybe I still am a little crazy, but in like a better way, in a leaner way. Check the links in the description.